Chairperson, elite speakers and colleagues. I'm here to talk about a subject which has not been touched upon. Fortunately, I was watching it very closely with my crossed fingers. The business element of it. We surveyors, I believe, are very, very qualified. We somehow gain a lot of technical expertise going forward, but somehow going forward with that thought, we kind of lose the plot with the business element of things. So I'm going to touch upon some of the things which I feel that are so very important, and with all the seniority and all the experience and all the entrepreneurial approach that is existing in this room, I would like to express some of my views today, very briefly. The question that I've put right up there on my first slide is the future of marine surveying in this room? And I would like to take a show of hands on all those who are 45 or below. We can easily say this is more than half the quorum that exists. So indeed, the future is interested in what we are saying, and it is here. Those who didn't put their hands up, guys, taking forward Milan's paper, I would say that you all need to associate with one of them who's sitting down and didn't put their hands up, because those will become your mentors. I was very fortunate to have my mentor, and a very important piece of advice given by William Anderson himself over a coffee at the Thailand conference. I still remember, and I think that has taken Constellation Marine through its 2 years of recession time that has just passed by. I would not mention what it is, but I thank him and acknowledge it. Thank you, sir. Going forward, the challenges that exist, I feel, are emotional intelligence. We surveyors do not understand that we have to respect our client. We have to give them the due regard. Communication is such an important element of doing good work. Tony Fernandez very respectfully said that the report loses its value if it's late. How many of us today still dictate and have a typewritten report? It's past tense and it shouldn't be done, I believe. Blackberries, not as the extent of iPhones that William Anderson put up, but I think communication, take time off, half an hour, type a short 2-paragraph report before you get off a ship, maybe at Anchorage or maybe, and tell them that it's done, this is the advice, some bullet points, and off it goes out of your machine, your handheld, whatever it is. The customer, before it gets up, he's got it in his system, he loves it. You have exceeded his expectation of receiving his preliminary report in 24 hours. He's got it on real time. That, I believe, gentlemen, is the call of the hour. You cannot undermine it, and it's going to become more and more important going forward. I truly believe so, and we have made it a company policy, and that's why I put it down there. It's an organizational culture. Today, everybody in the Western world, those who matter in business, have got real time. 2 hours, if the mail is in your box, it is stale. Nobody wants to know about what happened after that, because it's got another 25 piled up on that. It's the reality, gentlemen. So that's how important that part is. I'll leave the rest of it. The last bit there, I would put down there. I asked a very important question. I didn't frame it too well, but the person nominating us most of the time does not know what he wants out of us. Please accept it. He is not a bad person. He's not a nitwit. He himself has got scanty information to put it across. Tell that to your boys who get irritated saying, what can I do this guy? Call him up again. Call him up again 5 times. I think that is required today to do your job well. Do not start your work with assumptions. Do not expect the full report. Maybe half an hour later he'll have a little bit more information. Get on with it. Ask him to call again and get some more information as to what am I supposed to do. I'm on my way. I'm inquiring more. Call your secretary in the office and ask her, do you have any more emails on it? Can you tell me what else I'm supposed to do? It will help you do your own job better. That's what I believe. That's emotional intelligence for you as a challenge. Going forward, responsive criticism. I've faced a lot of criticism as running Constellation Marine. We started off, the competitors wanted to flag you. I just received my newest criticism 2 days ago, yesterday in fact. And you handle it. It is part of reality. You have to face it. You have to be responsive to it, and responsive in a way where it does not offend the person who is criticizing you. He has the right to criticize you. Face it, that's reality. You need to know that it is a challenge in today's world. Everybody will try. It is a crab mentality that they call sometimes. They've got to do that. It's a fact. And being good, very good is important. You have to be internationally benchmarked and you got to be striving for excellence. Nothing short in today's world will do. Mediocrity, like it was put in, it's a disease. Chalta hai, cannot do. For those who has everything will be fine is not good enough. Going forward, KYC, it's so very important. Who will define, see, what is your customer? It is important to know who your customer is. Is the guy picking up the phone nominating you for an underwriter, a correspondent for a PNI club, and a PNI club for its member? Who is your customer? Is the correspondent your customer? Is the club your customer? Is the member your customer? Ship owner, charter, whoever it is. Who is it that you are going there to service? Like Tony Fernandez said, it is nobody whom you're doing it for. You're doing it for your professionalism. You are addressing your own truthfulness, understand the scope of the work, and deliver the scope of the work. It is not important that the correspondent who has nominated you regarding pricing, whether he's happy with your price, whether the ship owner, whether you presented a very honest report, has upset because he's ending up not getting his claim or whatever. It is not important. It is your honesty that is the customer, that is the most important. That will be the distance that you will go. Cheap and best, they are two completely different things. You can't sell yourself cheap. We started up and we were not cheap. We placed ourselves straight up there amongst the better half of the tariff scale that existed in Dubai. We're still there. You don't need to be cheap. If you're good, you don't need to be cheap. If you know what you're doing, you don't need to be cheap. You don't want to give anybody a discount. Why should you give anybody a discount? If you give a discount, that means you're speaking about your own uncertainties. It's a message you're giving to the client. Setting billing targets is very important. How are you justifying one of your subordinates or one of your colleagues' efforts if you're in management or middle management level? If you're not measuring how much he's doing for the organization, how will you value him? How will you invest in him? How do you know when he may be not working the hours, but he's getting you the billing. He's getting you how much work he's put in, how much the organization. You have to compensate him fairly. Only then you'll be able to retain him. Otherwise, he knows what he's able to get at. To summarize my last slide, I would say the recruiting young is important. Training and retaining is important. The more important part out of this is retaining. We got ourselves lucky and we got a couple of years somebody who had worked for an organization here in India. We got him there to Dubai. He put in 20 years in his organization. We grabbed him. He was in his 45, 48s and we grabbed him. Huge statement made that a man had put in 20 years in one organization. He is such an asset. There was absolutely, what was that organization thinking about letting him? It's an example I would take for my own organization I thought I'd share. Charge a good fee we already touched upon. Have an organizational growth story. Henderson's have done fantastically well. If your organization does not believe that it's got a growth, you will not go forward. You will not have your people be retained. They will not see the growth for their own profession, for their own going forward. You have to have a growth story. You have to communicate it with your organization, with your people. You tell them every time we're trying out something new, we got a new client or a new opportunity has come our way. You've got to share it with them. KYC, we've already said, have an end in mind. Gentlemen, we're talking about the future. We have to pass on the baton. All the seniors here, please understand the future is dependent on you. If we are endangered species, I feel that you all share the responsibility as seniors for us to become an endangered species. I think somewhere you all have, I'm sorry to criticize, but I'm very, very open to this.